Hi, I'm Ian from EMF, and you're watching the Groove Zone's Convos.
Just like that. Sound effects and all. Just like that. Sound effects and all. Guys, I want to say welcome aboard. You are watching the Groove Zones Convos here on our YouTube channel, as well as listening to us on X Vibe Radio. This is DJ D Phoenix coming to you from the South Puget Sound of Western Washington today. And I get a chance to hang with somebody that actually I'm totally stoked because this is going to be fun. We're hanging for a while this morning with Ian Dench of EMF. And if you're trying to remember how you know that, well, unbelievable. That I'll tell you. I was thinking about that before the interview. What It's amazing how big that song became.
Right?
Would you have ever foreseen? Well, I don't know. I guess you kind of have an idea maybe what it'll do.
Well, it was funny because sometimes people ask me, "Oh, did you know it was going to be so big?" And the answer is no. I mean, I can remember we went to record it with Ralph Jezard, and Ralph Jezard was this young engineer who'd been with some punk band, and that our management found, and we were waiting to make the album with Pascal Gabriel because he was a famous producer at the
Oh,
time.
okay.
He'd just done S Express, and we were sort of excited about that, and the idea was just to do a little taster single, and we went in with Ralph and recorded Unbelievable. And I can remember when we finished it, I was like, oh, I don't know if it's right or not. I'm a real fiddler. I keep fiddling, and I just
Right,
James has to stop me. James is
right.
like, it's good, just stop, and and out it came with no expectations, and boom, it was like it was a surprise to everyone, I think.
Because I mean, it's made its way into, and I know that this is probably the same interview fodder that you hear all the time and have to talk about. But I'm amazed at like how it made its way into like commercial. Like on in the commercial aspect, like, and I'm trying to remember. I know I've seen a couple of different products out on the market. That just goes to show how memorable the products are. But I remember the fact that they used your song in them. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
well,
well, that's kindly keeps us going. It's a wonderful thing, and it's sort of.
forward to Ian. Thank you again for putting aside a little bit of time with us today. By the way, EMF, I gotta say too, what you guys have been putting out over the last couple of years, or at least more recently than that, you guys have been putting some great stuff out. Bela Lugosi's dead. Who would have ever thought to even approach that one?
I know, right? What a turn up for the books.
But
Um,
amazing job. Oh my gosh.
thank you for that. I mean, it's that's a funny one, isn't it? Because somebody was talking about, oh, have you got any like Halloween stories? And we were thinking, well, we haven't got any Halloween stories. And we started talking in the summer, and and James and I started talking about like Halloween stories and great Halloween songs, and like the Monster Mash and Thriller, and all the great sort of spooky
Right,
songs.
right.
And James was like, oh no, the best one is Bela Lugosi's Dead. And I was like, yeah, totally. And he's like, why don't we do a cover version of it? And I was like, yeah, great. And so I was in Spain, and I just had my laptop and I just knocked something together. But it's a wonderful thing, EMF, in a way, because we sort of know what we sound like, you. And I listened
Right.
to Bela Lugosi, and I was like, okay, so that's a great tempo for a groove, like a classic sort of bit of a hip
Yeah.
hop groove, and then you got that side stick, the drum sound, with the echoes on it. And I just had my acoustic guitar, and I just played some guitar on it. James stuck a vocal on it, and it was like, oh, that sounds great. We'll just see what people think.
Well, you lucked out because I mean, it actually in the end result, it turned out incredible. And one thing about Bela Lugosi's Dead too is that the vocals are so sparse on the single anyway regardless of who would ever cover it, that it really is more, it's almost more of an instrumental track,
Yeah, it's
or at
certainly
least,
the original. Now, the original's very long, isn't it? It's
oh,
a good 20
nine,
minutes long,
yeah,
is it?
it's lengthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, between that and some of the other tracks, the reason why I brought that up is because of the fact that EMF is on heavy rotation on our radio station. Now that I've got,
Right.
yeah, so and
Thank you.
we've got a good selection of stuff. Well, and to let you know too that after we've had a guest on the show, anytime down the road that you ever want to come back on and talk about anything, or you have absolutely nothing better to do, which I highly doubt, the door's always open to you no matter what. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. um cool. I can't always believe everything that Wiki says, but if it's there's any truth to it at all, you've been busy basically this entire time, pretty much since your heyday all the way up, maybe except for like bits and spots here and there, but yeah, you just not stopped.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, when the band when we went our separate ways about 1995, I just got involved in some other bands and ended up working with an amazing singer called Amanda Ghost, and we fell into sort of songwriting for some big names. We wrote some songs for Beyonce and Shakira and had some
Wow.
hit records, and then ended up working for Epic Records in New York for a while, and
Okay.
that was wonderful. But I think I ended up on the sort of treadmill of hit records, and I didn't like that. I mean, maybe I'd have liked it if I kept
I
writing hits all the time, but
Right, right.
I
Yeah.
guess I wasn't able to write hits all the time because I don't feel that, for me, music isn't about writing a hit. Music is about telling a story and talking about how you feel. And the person I've always done that best with is James from EMF. And so,
Okay.
and we've always carried on writing through the years and just for the fun of it. And it was always great. And when we did our 30th anniversary shows and the audience sang all the words to all the songs, we were like, "Oh, it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time to give some love back." And it just got us going again. And
And
here we
that's
are,
got I was gonna say that's got to be an amazing feeling,
yeah,
to,
yeah.
have your stuff like saying back to you. I know David Sterry of Real Life a couple of years back said the same thing, that he gets to sing out to completely strange crowds, he has no idea who's out there, and they sing back to him all over the world. And it's like, what a cool feeling.
Well, yeah. It's a wonderful thing because and you risk yourself by doing that.
I'm on an interview. I'm sorry, what was that?
No problem, Darren. Are you okay? You've got to deal with something.
Nah, well, I don't have the answer to what he's asking for, so not really anything I can do.
Okay, good.
It's yeah, anyway, my apologies. Okay, let's
It's all good. It's all
it
good,
is
right?
all good.
Multitasking.
Yes, back to what you were saying. My apologies, Ian.
No problem. I was talking about people singing stuff back. It's like you risk yourself by putting yourself out there, and like
Oh,
sometimes people don't connect, and sometimes you get nothing back. But when you do put yourself out there and it does connect and you get something back, it's such a validation,
oh,
and that's
yeah,
so special.
no doubt, no doubt. Um, So yeah, you like what I was mentioning before, you being unsteady and even though it's a treadmill of hits, that's basically a first world problem, I'm sure.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've only got, one hit after another, but whatever. Um,
Well, that's an exaggeration.
yeah, no, and
But
I'm giving you credit. I know exactly what you were talking about. Um, wow. So is there another tour? When was the last time you guys toured the States?
we were there in June. We played 11 shows on the West Coast. We were in Washington State in June. We
No
played in
way.
Seattle. Yeah, and
Really?
I'm sorry
Wow.
you didn't know about that.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
right, and uh we had played a wonderful show. I can't remember the name of the venue in Seattle. I got to find that out. Um, we had such a brilliant time, and it was
Nice.
funny. We were. It's been years since we've been in the States, and we did these shows, and we did it in a bus, and we had some 13-hour drives, and we were dreading the drives. We think, oh, well, that's going to be. And you know what? It was wonderful. We got to
Awesome.
see the countryside, and Washington. What a beautiful state! And just driving through, having a chat on the van, doing a little bit of work. Just having a snooze. It was. We had a brilliant time, and it was
Nice.
the reception was wonderful, and the band's in a great place. The members of the band we get on really well, and it's all
Good.
about the playing, and the playing was great, and the audiences
Awesome.
were
Yeah,
great.
go figure. I missed you by like not even 6 months. June was a tough month though because there were a few different things going on simultaneously, and where I thought I was going to be able to juggle them all, was only able to juggle like one or two of them, and ended up missing. Yeah, so probably just as well. But I'll keep
Always
my eyes up.
multitasking, right?
Oh my
Always
gosh,
multitasking.
no doubt. Once upon a time. Um, well, cool. And so you said it was 11 dates.
There we played, yeah. Okay, here we go. You ready? We played San Jose, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Salt Lake City, Denver, Phoenix, San Diego, Santa Ana, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. I think that's all of them.
Wow.
And it was great. And we're
Wow.
back now, but we're back in January to play a music cruise. We're going to go from Florida somewhere to the Bahamas and back. Amazing
Wow.
cruise. Some great acts on there. On Vogue, TLC, Maxi Priest,
Oh my gosh.
and
Oh my gosh.
ourselves. And
How cool. That's
yeah,
that's one of the things, they're again talking with recording artists over the years. Um Sometimes when they hit that point in the career where they get to actually go on one of the cruise, concert tour type of things. Just kind of like reconnecting with, friends of yours from the music industry from years ago, maybe that you hadn't seen in a while, and now you get a chance to hang out with them while you're on a cruise or whatever. It's like that's got to be fun as well.
do you know what? It is such a wonderful thing. We just did a tour in the UK with Jesus Jones,
I saw that.
and
Yeah, I saw where you guys did
right,
that. Yeah.
and back in the day, we were sort of rivals, and over the years, we've got to know them, and they've become our friends. And that was the second tour we've done together, and it's
Oh,
just
cool.
wonderful. It's just so lovely to be older and wiser, and to celebrate. You
Who would
know,
have thought?
right? Who would have
Yeah.
thought?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it's funny because I was trying to think earlier because I still remember when Schubert Dip came out, and it wasn't that long after it was released, and I had a copy of it. Being a DJ since 1984, it's like I tried to always, like, as soon as I'd hear something cool and something new, I'd try and snag it up, even if none of the other clubs or whatever were playing it around here. But I do remember when Schubert Dip came out, and before our interview, I was thinking EMF had to have been considered one of the Madchester bands to it. And actually, so I put in a list of, or I put in Madchester bands in my browser, and sure enough, 40 results, and EMF was in there with them, you know. So
It's funny. Yeah, I guess we got included in the Manchester sound, even though we weren't from Manchester, because
right.
there were other people that were doing a similar thing, which is taking dance beats and mixing them with guitars, which is sort of what Happy Mondays did,
Stone
and New
Roses.
Order and Stone Roses,
Yep.
and so I guess in the States, people don't necessarily know or care about the geographical basis of something, and
Yes and no.
so
Yes and no, because the music geeks like myself, yeah, I want to know these kind of weird, goofy little things that in the long run probably don't make a difference anyway. But it's like there are definitely those of us out there that, it's like, oh yeah, just the way the mind
yeah,
works.
who are interested, yeah, exactly. But it's like all the grunge stuff, it's been called the Seattle sound, right? It's I mean, a lot of it was from Seattle, right? But not necessarily all of it, right?
Right, but not the number one band though, because the number one band wasn't even, I mean, they were from Aberdeen, but they got their start in Olympia, which is where I'm from. And I remember actually it was the night that Dave Grohl of Foo Fighters played with Chris and Kurt for the first time at a small club in town. And the club owner had no idea that it was going to pack out that much because as grunge was taking off, it's like these are all the bands that we keep seeing their flyers all over town, and we go to their shows and stuff, but nobody had a clue what was going to happen. And Sleater Kinney and Bikini Kill and Nirvana, all popped out of our area. And that was a real strange time to be a DJ. And that was right on the heels of you guys coming out with Schubert Dip as well.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, while you guys were making inroads to the music scene here, then grunge popped up and blew everybody out of the water.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. You're
You
like, hang
know,
on, what about us? Yeah, what about our dance rock stuff? It's like all of a sudden it was grunge, and things had moved on and
it's a different day in the music industry when Depeche Mode takes on a grunge aesthetic to their sound. You know, yeah,
right.
right. Um, so I want to bring up a couple of goofy questions while I've got you on. One of the things besides the radio project that we do, we've been doing a podcast.
That's really interesting
Actually,
that you asked that because we just did a cassette mixtape and it's like do you remember back in the day you'd do a mixtape for a friend and say this
yes,
is
I'm
like
the mixtape king.
right? So we need to get you one. So I did one side of songs that I was listening to at the time,
Cool.
and James did another side that he was listening to at the time. Okay, let me try and remember. I mean, mine starts with Anarchy in the UK because I come from punk rock,
Okay.
and then it goes on to some of the sort of dance um uh guitar things that were sort of starting to happen. There's that She Drives Me Crazy by the Fine Young Cannibals. I
Okay.
don't really
Okay.
remember that. But that great guitar riff and that big snare, that big really sort of groovy snare thing happening and
I loved Fine Young
uh,
Cannibals.
right.
Oh
And then
yeah.
also Grandmaster Flash, White Lines. The way that bass line played, just like it was so groovy, but it felt like a real bass. It was like, and I
Yeah.
kept thinking, oh, perhaps we could do something like that.
Oh
And
yeah.
so maybe, and things of the time, I'm just trying to think of things of the time. We loved the Smiths,
Okay.
the amazing band, Public Enemy, um, Fear of a Black Planet. I mean, just those hip hop grooves coming through. We were like, this so, and it was great because the clubs in the UK were playing the Smiths and Public Enemy.
Okay.
They would,
Okay.
you'd have these indie discos where they would just play everything from all those different genres, and people would, love it. And
You guys had better clubs than we did to a degree, though. I mean, really, I mean, we had some that were standout, but I think for the most part, though, I would have given anything back in the day to have been able to have gone clubbing in the UK, you know?
ah,
Oh my gosh.
it's so funny that this thing in the US where the radio stations just play one genre of music, don't you? I mean, I guess you got so many radio stations you can do that, but in the UK we didn't have so many, so the radio stations would play. We had John Peel, who was an amazing DJ, who would just play the latest, most unusual, crazy things and championed new music,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
and so you really got a sense of the sort of juxtapositions of different styles and maybe how you could mix them up.
Hmm. And I think honestly, I think that was one of the things about EMF and some of the other bands that were at least kind of debuting or popping up at that time is that there was like a real that everyone was really okay with experimentation and blending different styles. There again too, because it was just a couple of years after the whole like bomb the bass move with and
Yeah,
Mars, right? That like sampling was coming in a little bit more,
yeah,
and for me that's always been one of my favorite things. It's like I love that whole like Madchester. not even Britpop necessarily, but the whole Manchester like rhythm, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There's some really interesting things coming through. Again, probably because people would listen to so many things and mix them up, and it was a yeah, it was a good time. Bomb the bass, yeah, amazing, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. They were sort of taking sort of house music elements and electronic elements and band elements and mixing them up, and yeah, it's good stuff.
And in what you were saying a little while ago about mixtapes is kind of what reminded me of that. Because when I make a mixtape, I love putting sound bites in there. You know,
Oh yeah,
one of my best friends and I back in the like mid 80s when we started doing mixtapes and stuff, we would find all these weird like audio clips from like movies and stuff like that and slip them in. Are you familiar with Colorbox?
oh, isn't that a
Colorbox?
program of some sort?
No, Colorbox. COLOURBOX on the 4AD Records label.
I know, I don't know.
Okay.
No.
Okay, then when you get a chance, Ian, you got to check them out. There's a couple of songs. Um Hot Doggy, and I know that sounds really goofy, but Hot Doggy and
Okay,
Just Give 'em Whiskey are the two.
okay.
Those are the two, and I can
I'm
even
gonna
send
write
them
those
to you, Rick.
down.
You got to check
Hot
those out.
doggy and just give them whiskey. Okay.
Just Give 'em Whiskey and Hot Doggy. They were so this was back in like 1983, 84 that these guys were playing around with stuff. They'd sampled clips from like Westworld or Future World,
Oh wow.
random stuff, put them into these tracks, and it's just like it's mind blowing. But it's that kind of thing, and there again, I think the EMF, is indicative as well, or it's a good example of bands that kind of just played around with sounds and stuff.
Well, of course, the other really great one was Big Audio Dynamite, wasn't it? I mean,
Oh,
um,
yes.
that's because
They,
they sort of started that sampling thing, and
yep.
that was which was really clever. And we were like, "Wow, this is amazing!"
Oh my
And I
gosh.
guess borrowing it from hip hop to some extent and mixing it with the indie guitars, and
Right. Good example. Actually, yeah,
yeah,
big audio. And I think that they're actually still very underrated.
yeah,
When you stop and figure what Mick Jones did after having already been a member of The Clash, one of the
yeah.
premier punk bands of all time, and then moving on eventually into Big Audio, I don't think that he got the kudos necessarily. But when you're a trailblazer and when you're a pioneer,
Yeah.
sometimes it can be a long time after the fact before you're really recognized for your
Yeah,
contribution.
and sometimes the pioneers do really interesting things, and somebody comes along afterwards and has a massive hit. I always thought like Can, do you know Can?
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean those that what's that track? It, it's so groovy. It's like and that was so early on. What was that? The 70s, and
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
early 70s, I think.
yeah, and they're
It,
like they never had a hit record with it, and it took sort of took years for the groove guitar thing to come through,
yep.
and but they uh so I feel sorry for those people the pioneers who don't quite crack it, and then somebody else comes along and has a massive hit record
Oh, I
like
know.
us.
I know.
So
Well, yeah.
but we did get uh the guy from Can to do a remix of a song called Perfect Day from our third
Really?
album. Yeah, and it was so lovely. We met him, he came out and we all got drunk together in a Cologne in
Wow.
Germany, and it was a wonderful moment.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm gonna have to give that one a listen again because I believe that's one of the tracks that's on the station right now as well. So, okay, so we're looking at about a minute and a half. Any quick shout outs that you would like to do to anyone, Ian, that might be watching or listening today?
Thank you to all the people that came to see us in Washington State. It was so lovely to be back there after so long, and there was a great audience, um, and just to everybody in the States, it's good to be going back over there.
Good. So guys, when you get a chance, if it's been a while since you've checked out EMF, go on. You can go onto their YouTube channel. They're all over the internet, so it's definitely worth checking out. A lot of great stuff out there. A lot of new releases out there that are definitely worth listening to. So Ian, thank you again so much. Totally, totally appreciate
Thank
this.
you.
You
I really
bet.
enjoyed that.
Good, good. I'm glad. I'm with all the little kinks and quirks and all that. Guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back after these messages. You are watching the Groove Zone's Convos and listening to us on X Vibe Radio. I'm DJ D Phoenix out of South Puget Sound, hanging out with Ian Dench of EMF today. Ian, have yourself a great day or evening.
You too.
All right. All right. Guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Thank you very much.